Hello, and welcome to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley, and for the next hour, we are going to be attempting a brave new writing exercise. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Okay, the name of this class is the infinite sentence. During the course of this class, we will begin by looking at the most complicated type of sentence in English, which is the compound complex sentence. We'll learn exactly what that is and what it looks like. After we learn that, we get a good grip on what we're talking about. The class will take turns adding clauses to a sentence infinitely, or at least for the next 59 minutes until we run out of time. We'll see if this is even possible. I don't know. What I do know is that according to grammar rules in English, there actually is no limit. In point of fact, if you created a sentence that never ever ended, it would be grammatically correct. You can add any number of clauses to a sentence. You can just keep going forever. Of course, that's not a very logical thing to do in practical, real writing. In the real world, nobody would take the time to read such a sentence. And if we don't break sentences up into individual sentences and clauses and into paragraphs, no one would read it because it would be exceptionally boring. It's very difficult to read a 142-word sentence. It's very challenging because you have to keep the idea for 142 words. However, today in this class, we're going to do our best. Okay, welcome to the class. Heidi, hello. How are you again?
Hello, nice to see you again.
Okay, Heidi, you've had some practice. So this is kind of similar to the never-ending story, except instead of, or the alphabet chain writing exercises that I've done, except instead of adding individual sentences, we're going to try adding clauses. This is going to be a little challenging for you and for me. We're going to give it a shot, okay? I'm glad to see you here because you have some experience. All right. Well, thank you. Victor, hello.
Hello, nice to see you. Pretty fine, thank you for asking.
Great. Nice to see you again. And Anna Carolina has joined us. Hello, Anna Carolina.
Hello.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, hello. All right, still plenty of room in the class. Just come on aboard, jump in the class. No matter, just jump in any old time, and you will join the chain writing this never-ending sentence. But first, a message from our commercial, a message from our sponsor. Our sponsor today is the compound complex sentence. What is it? A compound complex sentence contains two or more independent clauses and one or more dependent clause, which is the point of our exercise today. There is nothing here that says you ever have to stop adding clauses. You can have an infinite number of clauses in a sentence legally without being charged by the grammar police. However, obviously you don't really want to do that. But you must have at least two independent clauses and at least one dependent clause. Hi, Sasha. Welcome to the class.
Hi, thank you.
Okay, let's look at an example. All right, here's an example. Because I'm an English teacher, some people expect me to speak perfectly and other people expect me to write perfectly. The dependent clause is underlined. Why is it dependent? All right, look, if I got rid of this because, and all right, I just take this clause here, and I cut it out, or actually I'm just going to copy it, and I stick it down here below. I'm an English teacher. Boom. What's that? Well, that's a sentence. A sentence is an independent clause. A sentence simply needs a subject noun, I, a verb, am, and it needs to make sense all by itself. It needs to express or better than make sense, it needs to express a complete thought. However, if I was to walk up to you on the street and say to you, because I'm an English teacher, you would look at me like I was crazy. Perhaps you might even call a policeman or someone of authority, because by itself, this clause, because I'm an English teacher, makes absolutely no sense. It is not a complete idea. It needs some help. So that means that this clause is a dependent clause. It depends on some help. So that's basically it. Compound complex sentence is the most complicated type of sentence. You have simple sentences like, I'm an English teacher, one independent clause. If you add one dependent clause to that, you have a complex sentence. If you add two independent clauses together, you have a compound sentence. So mix it up, shake it in the bag, you have a compound complex sentence. Okay, basically this is the idea. It is possible, okay, I'll just share this with you. Any questions about this so far? Are you with me so far? The idea we can
Yes,
use...
I have a question.
Yeah, okay, great.
Sorry, I can say some people expect me to speak perfectly, and other people expect me to write perfect because I am English teacher. What is the most common for to use the depend clause at the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence?
Excellent question. I am very glad you asked that. Right, sometimes I don't think about that because, you know why I don't think about it, Victor? Because it
No.
doesn't matter. Neither one is more common than the other, frankly. Honestly, flip a coin, Victor.
Thank you.
And it makes no difference at all. So I forget to mention that. That's exactly why I would have completely forgotten that. So thank you for bringing it up. Very good. You can certainly add this clause at the after, as Victor suggested, and it would not change the meaning of the sentence, and it's perfectly fine to do that. And neither one nor the other is better than the other option. They're both equal. It's really just preference. Okay, Saiban, hello, welcome.
Hello, teacher. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We'll struggle there to get a... Well, hi. Okay. I just want... what's that? How are you? How are you doing?
Good. Just good. Thank you. My grandma, she called me. She said, "Come and pick me up from your uncle house and bring me back to house." So I'm sorry. I was just on cell phone. I'm sorry. That's why I was a little bit confused.
Okay. Hey,
So,
if you're driving, drive safe. I don't know if
okay.
I don't know if I recommend driving and learning English. All right?
No, I'm just in my home. But she called me.
Okay.
I will come back after this class.
All right. Okay. Fine. Thought you were driving. All right.
No, I'm driving during summer class.
Oh, it made me worried. Okay, I want to show you another example. Something else that happens because we're looking, before we start our little project today, just want to show you one more thing that sometimes happens. Now, we're probably not going to do this today. We're going to just straightforwardly add different clauses to our infinite sentence. But I do want to share this with you. This can happen, and frequently does in English. Okay, the independent clauses here are in blue. Okay, well, some people tell me, which doesn't really seem like an independent clause, but in fact it is. Okay, others tell me it does have a subject and a verb, and it's possible under the right circumstances that it will, but is, okay, wait a minute, is too tough. This is wrong. This should not be italicized. Okay, like this. Others tell me, okay. All right. Some people tell me that my grading is too tough. That my grading, sometimes what I'm trying to show you, very awkwardly, albeit, is that dependent clauses can occur inside of independent clauses. This sometimes happens. All right. Now, we are not really going to do this today. We are going to stick with more the more common style, something like this here. Okay, although I'd like to go camping. All right, just real quick, Heidi, is this a dependent clause or an independent clause?
Mm-hmm. Although, independent.
No.
Although I like to go somewhere. Okay.
That's a dependent clause.
Dependent clause.
Yeah. Okay. This next one, Victor. I haven't had the time to go lately. Dependent or independent?
Independent.
Yes, it is. Okay. Now the tricky one. Sasha, how about this last clause?
Independent clause.
You caught me. Okay. Okay, because one thing I haven't talked about yet is when we connect two independent clauses together. All right, this is a little strange, so wrap your head around this. If we use what's called a connective conjunction, those are the conjunctions and, but, so, for, yet, nor. They don't count. They don't really count as being what's called a subordinator. So you can still have two independent clauses. When I use this word, although, when I use any other kind of word that starts starting the sentence, although I like to go camping in my dependent clause, then it's a dependent clause. And, but, so, for, or don't count. This is what we use to connect the independent clauses. And the way to remember these is fanboys. Pop quiz, Saiban, do you know what fanboys stands for? Saiban? No, he's going off the road.
No, okay, yeah, teacher, I'm with you. I'm sorry. What should I do? I'm sorry, teacher.
Do you know what this acronym? This is a mnemonic device. It's to help our memory. It's called a mnemonic device. It's an acronym. Do you know what fanboys stands for?
Oh, no, teacher. I
Okay.
don't know.
These what it stands for, it represents the connecting conjunctions, which are, dun, 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 for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and finally so. So there they are, the 7 letters. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. You can connect two independent clauses with these connecting conjunctions, and they still remain as independent clauses. So there you go. So in the course of what we're about to do right now, if you want to add, you can add another clause by using a subordinator and a clause or connecting another independent clause with one of these fanboys or connecting conjunctions. Although is a subordinator. There are different types of subordinators. They do kind of different functions. Some work with time, some work with purpose. Just real quick, let's see if we can maybe go a couple times around the class. Can you think of another subordinator? Earlier we saw relative pronouns as subordinators. That, because, an obvious choice. Although, okay, Heidi, can you come up with another subordinator? Any subordinator.
But by the end of this year or something.
Okay. Okay, this is an entire time phrase. Okay, this is something that's would be called a phrasal. Anything that's more than one word is a phrasal something. Phrasal verb has more than one word in it. You can call this a phrasal subordinator. Yes, it will work as a subordinator. Sure. Yep. By the time, there's a lot of by the something time subordinators, phrasal subordinators. There's a whole bunch of these. By next week, by the time you arrive, by 1997, whatever. There's tons of these. Oh, okay. Fine. Victor, can you give me another subordinator?
Okay. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, just words that start dependent clauses. No? Okay. That's okay.
But I can use, for example, if I have enough money, I can travel. I can use it if I like. I have.
Yeah. If is a subordinator.
Yeah,
that's right.
I
That's
have
all I'm looking
money.
for. That's
Okay.
all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a whole clause. Just the one word, just the subordinator itself, the word, a word, which may start. A subordinator is the word or sometimes phrase that starts a dependent clause. Sasha, can you give me one? Anyone, doesn't matter.
Since.
Yes, since. Saiban, can you give me one? Anyone?
Okay. Since I know. I don't know. There, not therefore. Therefore.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
You know them. You guys are just being shy. When, while, before, after. There are just really many whereas, or just as, and then all of the you can consider all of the relative pronouns, who, which, when, okay, lots of them. Okay, there's tons of them because More phrasal ones due to. Okay, those are just some examples of the many possible subordinators. All right. Okay. So when we start out, we're going to start out with an independent clause. Heidi's going to start us out, and it really doesn't matter what we're saying. And then we're going to either add, when it's your turn, you can add an independent clause, and of course I'm going to help you out. Now keep in mind that it has to be somehow related to the first idea. We have to kind of stay related to that first idea. But we're going to try to add as many clauses as we can manage before our heads explode. We're going to give it a shot.
Only one clause?
Well, we're going to go one clause at a time.
Only one clause.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
All right.
Since it's very hot and humid recently.
Okay, you're going to start. Okay, that's fine. Since it is?
It's very hot and humid recently.
All right, that's fine. So, Heidi, you're obviously starting out. We have a subordinator. Obviously, you are starting out with a dependent clause. Okay, by the way, when you start with a dependent clause, you have to have a comma. If you start with an independent clause and then add a dependent clause, you don't need a comma. That's in a complex sentence. Anyway, okay, we have begun. Victor.
Okay, I am getting a seat.
What?
Sorry. S-I-C-K.
Okay. Since it is very hot and humid recently. Okay, we're using since is a little tricky. Keep in mind that since can be a time subordinator. Since 1992, I have been teaching online. Okay, or since can mean because, and here it obviously means because. So since or because it's very hot and humid recently, I am getting sick. Okay, and this is a dependent or independent clause?
Independent.
Yes, it is. What we have here is if I was to make a period here, this would be what's called a complex sentence. But I'm not going to put a period here because I'm going to have Sasha add another clause.
I'm getting sick, whereas my whole family feeling well.
Okay. What did you forget?
Are feeling well.
Whereas my whole family are. Okay. Now, interesting point of fact. Just different English note, just because it's come up. Really, Sasha, you really can't be wrong here if you pick is or are. Just to make a point, the word family, being, of course, a collective noun, a noun that is a word for a group of things. This can be very confusing.
It's like anybody, anyone. So is.
Well, no, it's more confusing than that.
Oh
my God, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right to say, oh my God. For example, as an American, I would say, hey, Sasha, how's it going? How's your family? How is your family? Because Americans consider that collective noun to be one thing, one group, one unit. Unit is the key. However, Brits might say, oh, how are your family? How are your family? Because they consider The speaker considers the family as a group of individuals acting independently. Okay? So Americans are very likely to say are normally going to say is. Brits are more likely to say are. The grammar rule is sometimes the intention can be different. For example, you would always say the cost is $10. You would never say the costs are $10, right? Okay.
Yes, yes, sure.
Right. Now, follow me here. I know we're sidetracked here, but this is kind of an important thing here. There are $10 on the floor. What does this mean, Sasha?
Uh,
Let me make it more obvious. Scattered on the floor.
It's lie on the floor.
Yeah, there's scattered, separated. This means there are 10 $1 bills, 10 units of $1 spread out all over the floor. Okay? So you see how this can depend on the speaker's intention. Does he mean a unit? The cost is 1 unit of $10. Or does he mean a bunch of individuals? There are $10 bills scattered on the floor. Okay? So, there you go. With collective nouns, sometimes you have to be, it's really for many collective nouns, Americans are more likely to say is, and Brits are more likely to say are, but the actual grammar rule is illustrated here. It depends on your intention. That's the key. Either, in other words, if you said is or are, you are correct. I don't know what your intention is, how you consider it.
Okay, a quick question, teacher.
Sure.
For instance, whereas whereas all members of my family are feeling well, that would be much better, I think.
Yeah, well then you would have to use are there, right?
Are, yeah.
Yeah, you forced it by using the adjectives, or by using the members of construction. Yeah, if you do that, you've forced the use of are. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, so far, what kind of a clause is this? Dependent or independent?
Dependent.
Yes, it is.
Because of whereas.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So we've got 2 dependent clause and 1 independent clause. We really need an independent clause. This sentence, with 1 independent clause, you can have as many dependent clauses as you want, but then it's a compound. I'm sorry, it's a complex sentence. Still, I'd love to get to a compound complex sentence. You don't have to, but Saiban, do whatever you want. I don't care. Just give me another clause.
Okay.
Related now. Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Saiban. My apologies. Mostly, of course, keep in mind you've got to be somehow related to this independent clause. You don't have to worry so much. This is like a cause, and this is the effect. So this is the main part of the sentence, the independent clause. So keep that in mind as you're creating your clause. All right?
Okay.
And hopefully it makes sense. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. That's why I.
Oh.
That's why I stay home alone. Stayed the teacher in the past.
Stayed.
It's
Well, let me hear that D, brother. Stayed.
stayed. Stayed.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's
Is it?
interesting. Sorry?
I said, is it enough, or should I add
No, that's a
any?
clause. You're way ahead of game. Yeah, that's another clause. You've added another. What kind of clause did you add?
It's
Dep
dependent.
another dependent clause.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
okay, teacher.
Okay. I'm getting sick, whereas my whole family are feeling well. I don't really need a comma separating these. Uh, very often when we got to definitely, this is a new idea. It's very common, and I think it's good style myself. You don't necessarily have to have a comma here. You don't have to do what I'm showing you, but I think it helps to add, and that's why I stayed home alone. What I'm doing, and is not one of those connecting conjunctions here. It's included with that. You don't need this. This is not necessary. This is really just my personal opinion as your teacher. I just think it's clearer when you use it. It's really not necessary, especially here, where in fact we're trying to create the world's longest, most confusing, but grammatically correct sentence. So it doesn't really matter. Okay. It's an option. If you feel your sentence is not clear enough, you can add, when you add a relative clause, which is a dependent clause, you can add and, or but that's why, or and that's why, so that's why. It's very common to do that. Perfectly normal. What you're doing is you're creating a phrasal subordinator. Sometimes it can make it clearer. Heidi, another clause.
We can use past tense.
Well, I guess we're all over the place with tense, aren't we? Present tense to present continuous. All right, present continuous again. That's why I stayed home alone. That's okay. Yeah, it's okay that he put past tense here. It's a little future past thing. It's present tense, really. I'm getting sick. That's why I stayed home. That's an okay sentence. Yeah, as long as it makes sense. I'll help you if it doesn't, but okay. What are you going to do? Now, again, you can add another independent clause. Remember our fanboys. Here's just, you don't have to do this. Do whatever you want, but you can add fanboys. Maybe that's why I stayed home and did some other activity, whatever.
Mhm.
It would work.
Mhm. I'm confusing because how can I continue past or infinitive?
Okay. Why you feel that this past tense is not right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, if we eliminate all the uh, confusing rest of the stuff, I am getting sick, so I stayed.
Mm. No, I can't understand.
Really?
Mm.
Um,
So
I know how to explain it.
I've been stay at home. I can understand, but
Okay. You wanted to say I was getting sick, so I stayed home.
yes, I took it. Or
Okay.
I'm getting sick, so I've stayed home at home.
So I have stayed
Yes.
at home. I am getting sick, so I have stayed at home. Okay. This is possible, though, because understand that the present continuous does mean, in this case, it means the wider now, like I'm reading a book. I'm reading a great book now, so I stayed at home and didn't go to the party. Okay? It is okay. There's nothing wrong with this, because present continuous can mean the wider now. I'm reading a good book, so I stayed home, so I decided to stay home and not go to the party. Plus, it's past in the future a little bit. But anyway, it is okay, but that's why I have stayed home.
How
It
can
makes
I
you...
continue? Present or past? Because
Okay.
before that, all of the present tense, so suddenly it changed the tense, so how can I continue? Then I got
Okay. All right. And that's why... Okay, let me show you. I'll give you one. This is why you don't make sentences this long, because you get confused with the tense changes. This is why it doesn't work to do this. This is why it's only an exercise. But allow me. So that's why I stayed home and decided to listen to my old record collection, and I decided. That's why I stayed home alone and I decided to listen to my old record collection. Okay? It works. Okay? Heidi, I don't know how to make it any clearer. I am reading a great book. Do you understand that this doesn't mean I'm reading it right now?
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed home tonight. You see? It is possible to have this combination of present continuous and past tense. It's perfectly okay. Because that present continuous means a wider now. I'm in the middle of it kind of expression. Okay, do you want to try adding another clause to this? Can you write an add-on to this one?
Yeah.
All right.
After
Shoot.
that.
Okay, wait. Let me get my head around that. And I decided to listen to my old record collection.
Okay. And
After
then
that.
Nevertheless.
Sorry?
Nevertheless.
Nevertheless. I hate this word. I hate spelling this word. Sorry. Okay.
I'm not comfortable.
Oh, the interesting new turn here. And I decided to listen to my old record collection. Okay, there definitely would be a comma break. Nevertheless, I'm not comfortable. Okay. Okay, and you bring it back to the present tense. Very good. Actually, Heidi, that's exactly how you would do it. You could bring this back to the present tense. That was actually quite good. All right. Beautiful. All right, and we're back in the present tense. Okay, so I made a decision in the past. That's why I used decided to kind of help bring it back. You can always use a past tense. I decided I am going to stay home. You can do that. Okay, onward, Victor.
Because I have hate Kate. Sorry, hate.
Help me out.
Hate, pain in the head. I don't know how you say it.
Pain in the head. I have maybe
Head.
a Headache, they're countable, so I have to use it.
Okay. Okay. Because
Is that it?
yes.
Okay.
Get-
Okay. That's it. That's a
Yes.
clause. All right, very good. Because I have a headache. Headaches are countable. You need that article. This is the word, headache. One word, compound
Good.
noun.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I like it because I have a headache. That's great. Actually, I'm actually pretty impressed. You guys are adding clauses that are very still all related. You guys are actually doing great. Sasha, you're up.
Okay. Uh, okay. Which I hope will wear off after I took a painkiller.
Now, in this case, now we can't. Now we can't. Now we can't drift back to the past tense on this one. Now, this one I can't let you get away with, which I hope. And there's another reason. Hopes and wishes are subjunctive, and
Back shift.
yeah, I hope will wear off after I take. Okay, that's right. Yep, backshift, exactly. All right, which I hope will wear off. You guys are doing interesting things with verb tenses. This is an interesting exercise. Saiban, what are you going to do here now?
Okay, it's going to be a report teacher sounds because it's not the sentence right now. So okay, I will add another clause.
Actually, actually, you know what? It just occurred to me that Sasha added two. He added two clauses, which I hope will wear off after I take a painkiller. Okay, what's Saiban? Sorry.
Okay, but it is still not working with me.
Okay, now here we go. We hit a wall. Not working with me. First of all, contextually, drugs or medicines work for you, not with you.
Okay, so it's not still not working for me. Okay.
Okay, but this is at the present time. I have a headache. Okay, he
Okay.
hopes it will wear off after he takes a painkiller in the future. But he's taking a painkiller in the future, so you can't say it's still not working for me. That doesn't make sense.
Okay. So I will say, but uh, but I think it won't work. It will not work for me.
Okay. Okay. I think it will not work for me. What's missing from here? Because
Is
this
cool.
is a comma. Yes, yes it is, because you are adding another independent clause with your. Now we do have the connecting conjunction here. Also, the one that I added is also an independent clause behind and now Saiban has given us yet another one. But I think it will not work for me. That's what I was thinking, but they never work for me, or something like that would make sense, and you've almost read my mind. Okay. Heidi, wait a second. Sasha, blow over instead of wear off. I hope we'll blow over after I take a. Well, you can, and native speakers would know what you meant. I hope my headache blows over. But usually what blows over is the weather or a problem, a controversy, or a rumor. You want it to blow over. Okay. Those kinds of things blow over. Not normally a physical like headache. It would be understood, but it is totally not a normal collocation. So it makes sense, and it's not, and grammatically, it's perfectly fine. It's a vocabulary thing. It's a collocation thing. Okay. Anyway. All right, we've made it fully 2 rounds. Heidi. Round 3.
Because
Okay, all right.
it's a chronic symptom.
Keep giving me hard words to spell. Symptom. Yeah, there we go. But I think it will not work for me because it's a chronic symptom. Very good. Excellent. Okay, Victor.
Okay. It is absolutely frustrating.
What?
It is
It is?
absolutely frustrating. Frustrating. How do you say, please?
What's that?
Yes. How is the correct pronunciation of the last word?
Frustrating.
Frustrating. Thank you.
That's it. Frustrating. And the syllable stress is on the first syllable. Frustrating. Frustrating. So frustrating.
Frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting word right there. I never really realized it till you made me pronounce it. It's a weird verb, being that to frustrate is a 2-syllable verb, and normally most 2-syllable verbs have the stress on the second syllable. But it's definitely to frustrate. It's definitely first syllable stress. Weird. Okay. You know what else is weird, Victor? You have just added an independent clause, and you did not give me any kind of means of connecting.
Okay.
You got to connect this.
So I can use so it's.
Well, I mean, you could, grammatically speaking, but doesn't make sense content-wise. Okay, because it's a chronic symptom, so it is absolutely frustrating. Oh, well, I guess it does, actually. I think it will not work for me because it's a chronic symptom, so it is absolutely frustrating. Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that does work. Okay. Yeah. All right, great. Good job. All right, Sasha. Okay. You stuck? Let me give you a clue. When in doubt, the catch-all easy connective is and. It's kind of the easy one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something better, but I can't. Okay, I'll go with and what is it? And I'll try not to think about it and go to bed.
Okay. So it's absolutely frustrating. Okay. And I'll try not to think about it is another independent clause. And I'll try not to think about it and go to bed. I'll try not to think about it and I'll go to bed. So you have 2 verbs working off this one subject noun. That's fine. Okay, future tense. Work in a little future tense. I'll try not to think about it and go to bed. Alrighty then. And this is, Sasha, is this a dependent or independent clause?
It is an independent clause.
It is yet another independent clause.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Saiban.
Okay. And comma and
Okay.
sleep well.
Okay.
Sleep well till for the whole night. Sleep well for the whole or for the whole night. For the whole night. Or for the
Okay.
whole night. And period.
Okay. But, Saiban,
But
a clause, just like a sentence, whether it's an independent clause or a dependent clause,
okay.
An independent clause is a sentence. It must have a subject, it must have a verb, and it must make sense, meaning by itself it must be a complete thought. A clause, however, doesn't, if it's a dependent clause, it doesn't have to make sense by itself. In fact, that idea doesn't make sense. But it does have to have a subject noun and a verb. Your clause you gave me has no subject noun.
Okay. And I or I, it is okay if I just say I will try.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for.
To sleep. Adding to and passive.
There you go. Okay, very good, very good. And I will try to sleep well for the whole night. Notice, of course, this is way too ridiculously long a sentence in any case, but it's kind of, you may notice if you're trying to read this, it gets hard to read somewhere around where it turns all green. But I think it will not work for me because it's a chronic symptom, so it is absolutely frustrating, and I'll try not to think about it and go to bed, and I will try to sleep well for the whole night. Okay. Actually, that's not so bad. It's not as bad as I thought it would sound. It actually doesn't sound that bad. Normally, if you are going to create a longer sentence, you try to mix up dependent and independent clauses. You try to avoid this. This is a matter of style and opinion, frankly. Okay, there's no grammar rule that says you have to do that. I'm just giving you writing advice that my professors told me when I was in university. You need to break up. In good writing, you should have simple sentence, then a compound complex sentence, then a simple sentence, then a compound sentence, then another compound sentence, then two simple sentences, and a compound complex sentence. Mix it up. Within a sentence, you should mix up also your dependent and independent clauses. That is simply advice about style. There's no rules grammatically. Okay, I just wanted to add that point. And how many rounds have we made it here? We're around another time. Heidi?
Still continue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I will try to sleep well for the whole night. Although I'm very hungry.
Very good. Okay, excellent. That's what I'm talking about. I was hoping you'd mix in a dependent clause. I'll say it for you. I know you know it's dependent, although I am very hungry. Great. Victor, back to you. Okay,
Okay,
she's
so
giving us kind of a new idea we can keep adding stuff to. Good job. All
okay,
right.
so
So, okay.
no, sorry, but I went to the kitchen and
So, I
I
went to the
went to the
kitchen.
kitchen to the kitchen
Uh-huh.
and I didn't
And what?
and I did not find anything.
Okay, now here I'm very suspicious of the verb tense. And again, this is why you do not actually make a sentence like this, because you get totally lost in with the verb tenses, and it's very easy to make a mistake. We are in uncharted territory here. Is this going to make sense with the original ideas? Look at it. Let's look at our independent clauses. I'm getting sick, present tense. I decided to listen to my old record collection. Now that was controversial, but we figured that, okay, the broader now, you can, all right, you can use that. I think will not work for me. That's fine. I think, and then about the future, it is absolutely frustrating. I'll try not to think about it and go to bed. Try not to think about it. Okay, I will try. Again, I will try. Okay, to sleep well for the whole night. Although I am very hungry, so I went to the kitchen. See, I am very hungry, so I went to the kitchen. I don't know, Victor. Does that make sense to you?
Okay,
I am very hungry, so I went to the kitchen.
yes, you're right. So I go into the kitchen.
Okay, you're gonna. Okay, am going to. You're gonna use the. That's cool. You're using the other future form. Whoops. I am going to the kitchen. Oh, okay. All right. No, this is just continuous, right? No verb here. All right. Okay. So I'm going to the
Sorry.
kitchen.
I'm going go to the kitchen. We are to speak in future.
So I'm going to go. There we go. That's what I was hoping for. The simple future tense with the going to. Right. All right. Although I'm so hungry. Don't forget your comma because it's an independent clause. So I'm going to go to the kitchen. This is a whole
The last
nother.
part, yes, the last part
You
don't have sense.
it doesn't make sense.
Thank
Something
you.
makes sense or doesn't make sense. Yeah, you're right. Doesn't really make sense. Okay, I think we did like 5 rounds. Sasha, you want to cap us off here?
So I'm going. In order to find something to eat.
All right. A phrasal subordinator. Wait, is this going to work? In order to find.
Or just to find. Maybe.
In order to find. Well, to find something to eat is you're just adding a phrase. You're not adding a clause. We got to make this a clause.
Okay. So. To...
Okay. Here, let me show you how to do that. In order that there, I might here. Okay. Not that you would have to do this in real life. Your adding just a simple phrase would be more than adequate in real life writing. But I just want to create another clause because that's what we're trying to do. So here's another dependent clause. In order that I might find something to eat. Well, there we go. Okay, let's try this. Beautiful, beautiful piece of work. if I may, since it's very hot and humid recently, I'm getting asick. Why asick? Sorry about that. I'm getting sick, whereas my whole family are feeling well. That's why I stayed home alone, and I decided to listen to my old record collection. Nevertheless, I'm not comfortable because I have a headache, which I hope will wear off after I take a painkiller, but I think it will not work for me because it's a chronic symptom, so it is absolutely frustrating, and I'll try not to think about it and go to bed, and I will try to sleep well for the whole night, although I am very hungry, so I am going to go to the kitchen in order that I might find something to eat. Well, yeah, there you go. Well, okay. Grammatically speaking, there is nothing wrong with that mess. Believe it or not. Okay, obviously you wouldn't want to really do this in writing, but just to demonstrate connecting dependent and independent clauses, it's an interesting exercise. Or it was for me. I hope you enjoyed it. We're out of time, but great job, guys. Thank you very much. You guys were...
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Bye.
All right.